Winning, Bonnie Blair, those of you that remember Bonnie Blair, winning doesn't always mean being first. Winning means doing better than you've ever done before. Better than you've done before. Whatever you did last week, do a little bit better this week. Whatever you did last year, do a little bit better this year. And we'll talk more about that as we move along. So what I'd like to do, why don't you guys get out a pencil and paper? Get out a pencil paper, draw a line on it. So I want to talk about a couple things right now. So we're in the first week of March. Good things are happening. The velocity of sales is picking up. Some of you had spectacular first 2 months. Some of you had a little bit more of a rocky first 2 months. But regardless, the market seems to be moving up. But what I'm seeing in March is I want to start with this thought. Because I think 2016 started a little bit slower, although we ended up the first 2 months slightly, as a company, slightly ahead of last year in every category. Slightly ahead. When you took both months and you added them together, because January is a little off, February was a little bit up. And the velocity so far in the first week has been really pretty terrific. But I want you to get this. Okay, here's the thought. The realtor prayer. The realtor prayer. Dear Lord, please give me one more good market, and I promise not to screw up the opportunity. Okay? That's the realtor prayer. Because that's what I believe we have coming for us. We truly do. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What advantage are you going to take with it? How are you going to move this forward in this business? Because here's what's happening. The market, in terms of number of closed transactions, has shrunk slightly because there's no inventory. People want to buy houses, but there's nothing out there for them to buy, so they're not moving, right? Even go a little bit back from that. When you right now you have a lot of people in the last few years, since 2005 and 6, 2003 and 4, people were refinancing their homes, and the interest rates prior to that were in the 5, 6, 7, 8% range, and those interests came down to 4%, 5%, 6%, and so people refinanced their homes. Now, some people took money out, and that's what caused our problem. But most of America, 80% of America, did what? Refinanced the home, continued making the higher payment, and paid their home off what? Faster. That's what happened to, I don't know if 80% of the people paid off their loans, but certainly 30 or 40% of their people. More people paid off their loans and their houses. More people have properties that are paid for, free and clear, today than maybe any other time that we've seen since loans have been popular in America. Okay? So think about what I'm talking about here. So we have people who are sitting in homes that are free and clear without making payments. All they're doing is paying the taxes, and they're paying the insurance, and they're paying the maintenance. So the wife or significant other says, I'd like to move, because people get bored and tired of sitting in the home, correct? We get bored. Let's paint, let's put new carpet in. Well, before we paint and put new carpet in, maybe let's go look at the new housing tract up on the hill. So let's take a look at that. So they go out on a Sunday and they took a look at the new housing tract, and the homes are gorgeously staged and everything's beautiful, and they get all excited and they say, well, let's buy the house, because we're sitting on a ton of equity, and they get some information about their equity, and they get some information about selling it, putting it down on the new house, and then there isn't quite enough to pay cash for the new house, so they need a loan. Maybe not a huge loan, but they need a loan for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to bridge the gap. Okay? Now, they weren't paying no payments. Now they're paying what?
Payments.
Husband, wife says, whoa, wait a minute. I wasn't paying anything before, and now I have to pay $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's put the brakes on this deal. So that slows down. That deal doesn't happen. But they still want to do something with their house, right? They still want to paint it and do something. So what's one of the most popular TV shows, genre shows on television in the last 2 years?
Flip this house.
Huh?
Flip house.
Flip this house, fix this house, do something with this house. HGTV, remodel this house, all of these things. And when they go in and they see these shows, which are wildly popular, they see that, oh my gosh, I could get a new kitchen with granite this and linoleum that, or whatever those, tile this, new paint, new cabinets, and it's $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. I could have a new bathroom for another $10,000. I can put in front landscaping, for another $8,000. I could fix my pool for this, but for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, I can do a pretty nice job on my house. And instead of having a $300,000 loan, they have a $100,000 loan, and instead of paying $1,500 or $2,000 a month, they're paying $800 or $1,000 a month. You get what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. And so, whoa, that's more reasonable. So now the second thing comes into play is now people are living in their houses longer. Mm-hmm. So we're not moving our houses as much. So that means there are less houses being sold because there's less people wanting and needing to sell. You guys get that part?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fact. That's our reality. A. B, in 2003, 4, 5, 6, a lot of people came in the real estate business because you could, breathe on a mirror and you could sell a house. It didn't take a lot of skills to sell a house, so a lot of real estate people came into the business. Then what happened in 2006, 7, and 8, 9? Okay? People got way out of the business. We lost almost 50% of the agents. 50% of the agents went out of the market. So as the market started to heat back up, then we ended up with more people coming in the market. So the market is this big. Get it? And the agents eating from the market, from the pie, got a little bigger. Do you get what I'm talking about here? Yeah. So now there's a little less business and a few more agents. Not dramatically, but you can see what's going on. A little less business, a few more agents in the marketplace. Now, the few more agents that are in the marketplace have really figured out how to work on their skills. They're better trained. They're more focused on what's going on. They make more phone calls. These people are really hammering. So the number of top agents taking a bigger piece of the pie is rising somewhat. And that's what's going on with our marketplaces today, you guys. That's what's happening. So, March is upon us. Business is picking up. It really is. There is no question about it. Okay? Homes are selling. There are multiple offers on properties. We need to gear up to make sure that March is one of our best sales months ever, to catch the momentum, to catch the wave as we go into 2016. So, and some of you that followed some of the things that we were espousing back in October was to do your prospecting, to work on your skills, to stay in front of your clients, to run through the finish line, right? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay? And think about it. We outperformed. The market went down in total in January and February slightly. And there are more agents out there slightly. And yet, with that, our company ended up doing some more business against the market. So what does that mean? If the market dropped 5% in number of closed transactions, and our company went up 3%. 3% doesn't sound like very much, but it's, you take the 5% the market dropped and the 3% that we went up, that's a 9% swing on your effort. Do you get it? That's huge in any business. If 1,000 properties sold, that means that we did 1,100 difference. Do you get it? And that's the importance of running through the finish line. Now we have to continue to catch the wave, and that's what we're doing in March. So write this down. We have to work on our attitudes. We have to work on our skills. We have to work on our mindset. And we have to work like we've never worked before, because of all the forces that are pushing on the market. You guys ever wondered why some people have all the luck? You know, it's like they appear to get whatever they want. The rewards just flood to them. They're getting the listings, they're getting the sales, they're getting the buyers, they're doing the transactions. Well, you see it, and you'd like to be just like it, right? Say, wow. So I wrote down here, all you need to do is to take more consistent action. More, keyword, than you've done in the past. Consistent action. We need to get over our procrastination and develop more persistence. We have to get over our procrastination and get into persistence. Develop more persistence. See, here's an example. Some of you have been in this business 10 years, 15 years. Your clients over that period of time have said to you, I want to think about it. They've said to you, I have a friend in the business. They've said to you, I want to cut the commission. During that 10 or 15 years, you've promised yourself, probably right after a sales meeting I would do, that's it. I'm going to learn that script today, this week, so that I can overcome that objection. I'm not going to be able to beat it every time, but if I beat it 2 out of 10 times, that's 20%. I get to raise my income over a 12-month period by something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And yet, over that period of time, some of us haven't learned that script, have we? We haven't done that thing. So we have to stop procrastinating. That's the word procrastination. We must stop procrastinating, and we must develop persistence. I wrote down here, persistence is what keeps you achieving, and achieving keeps you motivated. Persistence keeps you achieving. Get it? You keep working at it. And achieving, meaning getting it done, getting the listing, getting the appointment, overcoming the objection, the little things that happen, that keeps you, whoa, I did that. That gets you motivated. Maybe I can do it again. Maybe I can make another phone call. Maybe I can make this happen. Maybe I can make that happen. I can work this. You know, we're working on our price point. We're trying to move our price points up. And some of you are taking the plan and you're working your price points up, and it's working. You're moving your price points up. So you're making another $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 per closing. Pretty exciting. You did the same work and to make an extra couple grand? Pretty cool. I wrote down here, persistence is the ability to carry on towards your goals even when things go wrong or take longer than you wanted them to. Okay, truth. Does it take longer than you want it to? Hello?
Yes.
Almost every time, doesn't it? Almost every time. Almost every time. Persistence is the ability to carry on towards your goals even when things go wrong or take longer than you wanted them. I wrote down, with persistence you keep going and striving for what you want even when you feel like giving up. Fact. Sometimes I feel like giving up. True. Sometimes no, it's true. It's true. I hardly do. But I think about it. I think, oh my gosh, geez, at some point, when are they going to get this? Why doesn't that agent understand that by being here, we could help them do this and this and this? If they would just make an extra phone call or do an extra open house or talk to an extra person or learn this script just a little bit better, it would create a little bit of a breakthrough. And if they had that little bit of a breakthrough, then they would move on and do better and have a little bit more money to take care of their kids' education or the trip that they want to go on or that little nicer car. You know, we're all getting, well, I'd like to think I don't, but I do. We're all getting a little bit complacent. You know, come out of that miserable marketplace that we had a few years ago, you know, and, you know, you were aspiring for a new cool car. And, you know, man, geez, I didn't have as good a sales year. I didn't do this. So instead of getting that car, you settle for that car. Not a big difference, but a difference, nonetheless. And then you go on, and sales aren't quite as good for the next year, 3 years later. And instead of getting that new cool car that you wanted, or that new cool house, or that little better address, or join coaching, or whatever it is that you want to do, you drop down a little bit. And we get comfortable with our complacencies. Don't do that. You know, we work with our children all the time. Don't settle for less, kids. Have big goals. Have big, exciting things that you want to go to. Let's dream the dream. And yet, as life tends to beat us up and beat us down and push us back a little bit, we tend to lower our goals and expectations sometimes, don't we? Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. I wrote down here, it's not your motivation that will produce results. It's not motivation that will produce your results. It's your actions. It's your actions. Making the effort and achieving even one small thing towards your goals daily. I wrote down here, all you need is one small step forward. One little positive result, and your motivation will return again. Because you will believe once again you can do it. That's what's going on. We got beat up. We lost that listing. We forgot our script. We forgot what to say and how to say it. We haven't practiced for a week, and we had a listing presentation. We didn't have time to practice our listing presentation. We went out. We didn't get it. We didn't send our pre-listing package. Every one of you should be sending a pre-listing package before your appointment. Send it, send it, send it, send it, send it. Why? Because if somebody else goes on that appointment and they send one and you didn't, where are you? You don't want to, well, you might not lose it. You might not. But look at it the other way. If you sent the package and they didn't send a package, you're probably a little up, right? If you sent a package and they sent a package, you're about the same, right? Okay? But if you don't send a package and they send a package, are you up or down in the world? You're down. Why ever would you put yourself in that situation? Because that thing, that one item, could be the difference at the margin. When they're making a decision, if everything else is equal, they may go with the person who sent the package. Have you ever made a decision based on something like that before? Where somebody, I like that person because they showed up on time. I like that person because they showed up on time. It really meant to me that they were serious about this. So I went with that person because they showed up on time. I made that decision and rewarded that salesman with that commission or whatever the deal was. Or they returned the phone call on time. Or they said they were going to do X by X and they did it. And the other person, which might have been a stronger salesperson and may have known the neighborhood a little bit more, but they showed up 20 minutes late. They had a really great excuse, but it was an excuse. Do you guys get that? I wrote down, force yourself today to make one step in the right direction toward achieving what you want to achieve, and you will see benefit. Simple. Take one step in the direction that you want to achieve something. So just by you being here today, just by you being on the phone making a few calls, I wish I would have made 50 contacts. Okay. I wish I would have been able to get in touch with Susie, and I wasn't. But you were here. You were calling. You were talking to people. You were in the scripts class. You moved it slightly. Most of you are going to stay for the advanced script class in a little bit. You're going to get one more piece of information. It's going to get a little bit better. You never know when you're going to get that piece of information that's going to help you close another transaction. Get into action. It hasn't been raining for a few hours. Go out go out and preview a few properties today. This afternoon. Do that. You made some calls this morning, go out and preview some properties this afternoon. Force yourself today to make one step in the right direction. I wrote down here, how you spend the next 24 hours will speak volumes about how your future and the balance of March will evolve. I said business is getting better. It is. I said listings are selling. There they are. I said people are listing their properties. They are. I said people want to move. It's happening. It's out there. Now, you could settle for a listing or two. You could settle for a sale or two. You could feel good about that, or you could go out and do 2 or 3 more. You could take advantage of the marketplace and the opportunities. I wrote down here, you'll get up early, you'll take advantage of the future and how it'll evolve. Will you get up early and work out so you have energy for the whole day? There's a question. Will you do it or won't you? I wrote down, will you have the discipline to role play and at what level? I wrote down here, will you start prospecting on time? I wrote down, will you call the people you're supposed to call and with the intensity that you're supposed to call them with? Will you take time to study your scripts and your dialogues today and how to present it? Will you take time to preview more property today so you'll have knowledge equals confidence? Will you spend time listening to the YouTube and MP3s or reading books to help you move to your next level? Sometimes I can't read. Sometimes I don't have the time to grab a whole book or a whole chapter. But I have yet to ever pick up a book and not open the book and read a paragraph or 2 and not pick up something. Maybe I couldn't sit and read the whole chapter. I get it. Maybe you don't have time for all of that. Maybe it's in between something. But that's why there's books all over my house. All over my house. And everywhere I go, there are books, and I grab something and look at it. It doesn't work in the computer. It doesn't work on my phone as easily. Okay, I don't because out of sight, out of mind. But that's why I have books in my house. And I'm a little concerned because 40 years from now, I don't know if there's going to be books in people's houses. That's going to be a different issue. We'll have to figure out how to read Kindles, through our brain. But you see the cover of a house, a cover of a book, and the title's there and the author's there, and you pick it up, open it up, read a paragraph or two. It's going to help you. It's going to help move you forward. Or are you going to be like all the rest of the average agents? Average meaning they just barely do what needs to be done. Just barely. And they're very frustrated because they're not selling the number of properties they want to sell, and they're not making the amount of money they want to do. So what are you going to do in the next 24 hours? What actions are you going to take? How will you spend them? What changes are you going to make? Because what you're going to do with those actions in the next 24 hours, in the month of March, with all the March madness that's going on, is you're going to help move your career forward. And isn't that what this is all about? Helping you move your career forward. Stop being the average agent. Focus on what needs to be done now. Make the phone calls that need to be done now. The scripts that need to be learned now. And then let's watch what happens. Let's go out and make March one of the best months you've ever had. Thank you.